loses control of his Williams in a horrifying practice accident at Suzuka. Teammate Nelson Piquet is already the world champion. Some consolation for team owner Frank Williams, who saw the crash on Japanese television. Mansell mercifully is not badly injured and will be in his Isle of Man home to watch the Japanese Grand Prix. To the Suzuka circuit in Japan, and for the first time this year the front row of a grid at a Grand Prix does not contain a Williams or a Honda engine, and that is ironic considering that Suzuka is owned by Honda, who more than anything want a Honda powered car to win here today. Nelson Piquet has already won the World Championship of 1987 as a result of Nigel Mansell's practice crash on Friday. Mansell might even lose second position in the championship if Senna does well here today and in Australia, because the Brazilian Ayrton Senna is only 10 points behind Mansell. In fourth position in the championship it is Alain Prost, who is significantly second on the grid today and could win this race. In fifth position is the Swedish driver Stefan Johansson, and in sixth place in the championship and in pole position on the grid is Gerhard Berger in his Ferrari. The Constructors' Championship, of course, has already been won by a country mile by the Williams team for the second year in succession. McLaren are second in the championship, Lotus are third, and Ferrari are fourth. So the Ferrari of Gerhard Berger in pole position. Then it's Alain Prost second, Thierry Boutsen in third place, Michele Alboretto's Ferrari fourth, the new world champion Piquet in fifth place, Theo Fabi sixth. Derek Warwick is 13th, Martin Brundle 15th, and Jonathan Palmer 19th. So now this is going to be very shortly the start of round 15 in the 16-round World Championship, which has already been won by Nelson Piquet. Everything clear at the back. It's a long delay. They will be in first gear with their clutches depressed. And away. Beautiful start by Berger, seemingly. Fabi makes a magnificent start, and Alboretto is stalled on the grid.
But there was more fuss behind Alboretto towards the back of the grid, car going into the wall on the left as we look, and a bit of a coming together, and
yeah, that was Philippe Alliot, who has seemingly gone out of the Japanese Grand Prix already in the Lola. That was the man who was fastest in practice. There he is, Alliot stationary. But now it is Gerhard Berger leading on lap one, Prost second, Boutsen third, Senna up to fourth ahead of Piquet. Nakajima going well, but already Gerhard Berger in the Ferrari on lap 1 out of 52 is starting to build up a lead in the Japanese Grand Prix. Berger, Prost, Boutsen and Senna.
Yellow flags now where they're clearing the cars on the start line. You saw as the cars, and here we see it again. Now in the middle of the grid you see Alboretto stalled. There's a bit of a bumping together, nothing too serious, but bad enough to Alliot to put the nose in the pit wall. It's Prost having a look down the inside of the Ferrari, but he's settled to play a waiting game. Prost was fastest in the warm-up this morning, although not by a huge margin, and he'll be playing himself in pretty slowly, gently for this race, which is of course his great trademark, to take his time in the early part of a race. But Prost, I should think, is pretty keen to finish the season with a win, or preferably two. And here we see the view from Nakajima's car.
And Berger leading. Now the question is not whether Berger can get in front, but whether he can stay there. He is in front, as he was in Mexico, But is he going to be able to last the distance? The Ferrari has proved to be very quick in recent Grand Prix, but it has not proved to be reliable because of engine and turbo problems. So we can keep a weather eye on Gerhard Berger leading, and leading by a long way. He's building up a tremendous lead. The Ferrari mechanics already ready with tyres. They won't be needed, but just look at the lead that he has. That's Berger leading, and Boutsen is up to second, and Prost is seemingly away.
So Berger now has a huge lead. So having said that Prost was looking very good, he's gone missing. I can't be sure whether he's in the pits or not from here, but Berger now must immediately start looking after his tyres. It's not a problem with overheating them here, but the wear rate, and there is Alain Prost. So Prost cruising around, obviously, well, they always say, and his left rear tyre is gone. The luck stakes, it never rains, it pours. And it would have been nice to just finish with a win or two, makes everything seem all right, but this doesn't got to be in this case for Prost.
Yes, and Berger will need to start watching his cushion now, because he has a very secure lead, an incredible lead for this stage of the race, with Thierry Boutsen up into second place. But look at the gap. There's no question of Boutsen fighting against Berger the way he did in Mexico. You won't be seeing many more of those sparks now, with the news that next season the titanium skid plates are going to be outlawed, and there, out of the race already, as he usually goes very early, is Adrian Campos. Lap 3, Campos out of the Japanese Grand Prix, and into the pits comes Prost. Now they will change all the tyres. They might just as well change both fronts and the other rear while they're at it, when the car is off the ground, and I have little doubt that we will see a fighting drive back from Prost.
Well, the problem is you see them working around the left rear corner, and that will be because driving it for the best part of a lap on a flat tyre, which of course Prost had no alternative but to do, may well have done some damage. Obviously not serious, but the mechanics are obliged and much prefer to check it over and have a good look round before sending him out. So that's what made that pit stop particularly slow. Just that the car dragging on the ground can have damaged the suspension.
And you can see now the gap between Boutsen there in second position, with Berger over 6 seconds ahead of him. There goes Boutsen through to complete another lap. Senna in the background is in third place. Piquet behind him is fourth, then Theo Fabi and Stefan Johansson. And Johansson is going for Fabi. He just came out to have a look there, but did not get past. And I say again, Berger's problem is the Ferrari going to be reliable? It's looking in great shape as I talk to you. The spark striking up, the car is still riding low, of course. It's only lap 6. Most of the fuel load is still aboard, and Berger will be pacing himself now, watching things very carefully indeed. He'll know exactly what the positions are. Hello, he's missed a gear there. Doesn't want to do too much of that as he goes through to complete his 6th lap. Ferrari lead. Now Alboreto, you will remember, stalled. Here's Boutsen coming towards us in second place, and Alboreto is flying through the field. From last he is up to 15th already. Senna third, Piquet fourth, Johansson up to 5th, Fabi down to 6th position. It's very, very important to Honda to win here today. It's Senna in third position in a Honda-powered Lotus, ahead of Piquet in a Honda-powered Williams in fourth place, who are doing their best for their Japanese engine suppliers at the moment. Gerhard Berger, number 28 in his Ferrari, and Ferrari last won a Grand Prix in Germany in 1985, and they desperately need a win, in the words of Michele Alboreto, for many, many reasons. One of them, of course, will be the morale of Commendatore Enzo Ferrari himself, who is 89 and dearly wants to see at least one more Ferrari Grand Prix victory in his life. And you see Berger going well. What you don't see, but I can tell you, is that Michele Alboreto is now 11th as Senna takes Boutsen and second place. So the hopes of Honda are now resting on the shoulders of Brazilian Ayrton Senna, who has fought his way past Thierry Boutsen's Benetton Ford into second place. Race order as Berger comes through to complete lap 12. Now we'll see if we can get the gap between Berger there and the new second place man, Ayrton Senna, looking back along the circuit to see the yellow Lotus, and here he comes, and the gap between Berger leading and Senna second is 13 seconds, and Johansson moves up.
Yes, Boutsen's in trouble. He's slowed down because he was a little bit of a way in front of Senna. So now we have Honda engines in second and third places in the form of Senna and Piquet. Johansson still chasing hard, looking pretty comfortable.
I can tell you that there is an equally fascinating battle for the 3.5 litre category, which is being led at the moment, to the delight of his Japanese sponsor, by Ivan Capelli in the March. And he is just ahead of Jonathan Palmer in second place. And if Palmer can finish ahead of his teammate, Philippe Streff, and he is ahead of him at the present moment, Jonathan Palmer will add the World Championship in the 3.5 litre category, the Jim Clark Trophy, to his previous successes. European Formula 2 champion, British Formula 3 champion. That's certainly one of the Zach speeds. I can't see which one it is. It's Christian Danner out on lap 15 in the Japanese Grand Prix.
And here we see the demise of Christian Danner's Zach Speed in action replay, and it looks like an engine blow up, and he's just pulled off and parked it, or maybe, yes, he just put it in gear and it was rocking.
Now look at this, because that is Nakajima being caught by Alboreto, and Nakajima is in 8th position, and the Italian is shaping up to pass the Japanese driver, who will do his darndest to keep him where he is, behind him. And that gives Riccardo Patrese, and out has gone Capelli. That was Capelli in the March, and he was leading the 3.5 litre category. Capelli out then on lap 16, and that means to say that Jonathan Palmer is leading the 3.5 litre category.
And that is Teo Fabi coming to the pits, coming in slowly enough to make it look pretty terminal to me. He didn't appear to be in a racing mood, but it looks, maybe I'm wrong, we didn't get much of a look at it, but it looks as if the left front suspensions with the steering arm waving about, not much other damage, and other damage seems to be the other side of the car. So no, that's definitely the end of Fabi's race. He's out of the car.
And possibly out of his last but one Grand Prix. There is still Australia in 2 weeks' time, but the news is that Fabi has lost his Benetton Grand Prix drive next year, and there is still speculation about who he will be replaced by, possibly Johnny Herbert, the British Formula 3 champion. But now, as you see, Berger leads Senna by 12 seconds, and look how close it is between Senna in second place, Piquet third, Johansson fourth. Fifth is still Boutsen with Fabi out. Up to sixth place comes Riccardo Patrese, chased by Nakajima and Alboreto.
Here is the battle with Nakajima, trying to forcing his way around the outside of the Brabham and stirring stuff from Satoru Nakajima.
And now Michele Alboreto is in the top 6 and in a World Championship scoring position. Into the pits comes Johansson, and we'll see exactly how long it... Now, the impact wrenches on, the nuts off, new wheels and tyres on and out. That's a good pit stop. Under 8 seconds, Stefan Johansson in 4th position. It was Stefan Johansson who has been into the pits. That will let Thierry Boutsen up into 4th place. But there is something obviously amiss with the Belgian's Benetton. He was in 2nd position, and here he is coming into the pits as I talk. Now you see there the yellow circular board is held in front of the driver to indicate to him, or was, that's not a bad pit stop. Seems strange to say that just over 8 seconds is not bad, but you can do it quicker. Frank in his wheelchair watching Nelson Piquet. Piquet's got a problem. We've just had a message from the Williams pit as Nakajima comes in to have his tyres changed in 7th place, and the problem is that Nelson Piquet has got oil on his visor. This is an indication of how marvellous modern communications are. Piquet has told his pits by radio that he has oil on his visor which is interfering with his vision, and we're telling you.
Yes, but I thought when he comes into pits, he then won't be as unlikely to be following Senna so closely, which is presumably the source of the oil. And of course, while they do change his tyres, somebody can lean over with a rag and give his visor a very good polish.
We've just had one of these slightly shambolic situations here at Suzuka. Derek Warwick has charged into the pits to change his tyres, only to find that Eddie Cheever, his teammate, is already there. Cheever in 9th position, and Derek Warwick was in 10th position, and Derek's had to slam it into gear, race out again, rejoin the track, having lost time, and he's still got to make his tyre stop. And up into 4th position has gone Alboreto. Alboretto's really flying now. He has got ahead of Thierry Boutsen. Race order, lap 24 is Berger leading, Senna second, Piquet third. Up into 4th position comes Alboreto, and into the pits comes Berger. Now this is the race leader coming into the pits on lap 24, and he could lose his lead to Ayrton Senna, with Piquet right behind the Brazilian. And you can see, as James said, what a tortuous path it is into the pits, and this is a critical pit stop for Ferrari and Berger. And often pit stops cause problems with turbocharged cars because the turbos... What a super stop! Under 7 seconds, 6.97 seconds for Gerhard Berger, who sprints out of the pits having completed his pit stop.
Fantastic pit stop by the Ferrari team there.
And a fantastic race here with Nelson Piquet seemingly not able to do anything at all about Ayrton Senna. So there's Senna, there's Piquet, and they're carving their way through the midfield men now. We are on lap 24, and that is as near as nothing half distance. But Senna has still got to change his tyres if he's going to change his tyres. But Senna is now famous for his ability to nurse the rubber and be able to go through on one set of tyres. He did that at Monaco, he did it in Detroit, and he won both races. He tried to do it recently and failed, and now he's not going to try and do it at all, because into the pits from 2nd position, letting Piquet up, comes Ayrton Senna. Now, the fastest pit stop we've got so far is 6.9.
And Piquet is coming in behind him. They came in together, both Piquet and Senna. So this will be interesting to see if a moment for Piquet to make the overtaking manoeuvre. Now, this is up to the crews, not so much the drivers, this pit stop. And Senna sounds like he's gone. There goes Senna, and the Williams team slow by their normally very high standards. And so the two Brazilians join in just the same order as they were when they left.
So now the top men have changed tyres. Berger, that you're looking at, is on a new set of Goodyears. So is Senna, so is Piquet, so is Johansson. And Gerhard Berger from Austria is going well, as into the pits comes Alboreto. Alboreto in. Now, 6.97 seconds was Berger's time, and it's a 8.4 for Michele Alboreto in the Ferrari, and that was on lap 25, half distance. Berger leads. In second position now is Stefan Johansson. In third position it's Senna, and in fourth place it is Piquet. And off has gone our old friend Andrea De Cesaris. He's lasted pretty well for him, but De Cesaris out again on lap 26, and he was in ninth position at the time. So Andrea De Cesaris off, is moving up through the field, leading the 3.5 litre category, looking set to become world champion in the atmospheric class. It's while we're with Nakajima, Johansson is now closing up on Berger. Stefan Johansson is catching Gerhard Berger, the leader. He's only 2 seconds behind him.
Yes, and Stefan Johansson, of course, was the first to change tyres, and his timing certainly seemed to me to be the better than the other three leading contenders. He would have had the best use out of his tyres because he changed just around 1/3 distance, or just after 1/3 distance, and that of course is about half on the tyre wear because of the car being much heavier for the first third of the race with its fuel load.
There's Johansson second. Now the Ferrari looks in good shape. Berger will have no problems with tyres, of course, because he has already changed them. 2.5 seconds. The gap is increasing slightly.
It seems that Stefan, if anything, is dropping back very slightly, so I think Berger has seen the danger and is just managing to find that little bit extra and start pushing away.
But as you watch Berger, I can tell you that Nakajima's got ahead. Nakajima, I was just going to say, is closing up on Boutsen, and now we've joined the Japanese driver who is in the points. So Honda have got 3 cars in the points now. Senna in third place, Piquet in fourth position, Nakajima in sixth place, and Nakajima, who finished 6th in San Marino, 5th in Belgium, 4th in Britain, is back in the points in his home country, and he will be able to hold his head up high. Now, this looks to me like a replay of Nakajima catching Boutsen and getting past him. Well, he's not catching him at the moment as the Benetton streaks away. Now we're going through, and that's it. That was Satoru Nakajima taking 6th place and a World Championship point from Thierry Boutsen.
Seeing that rather makes it look to me as if Boutsen's got gearbox trouble, because he appeared to accelerate perfectly all right out of the corner, and then maybe he's missing 4th and 5th gears or something, because the car suddenly appeared to cease to accelerate, and that would explain why Boutsen's gone from running a very strong 2nd place, chasing as the leading pursuer of the Ferrari, to suddenly started dropping back, and he was very easy to pass by everybody, and that would explain it if he's missing a couple of a gear or two.
So Berger now the fastest man, 1:45.5, 124.18 miles an hour, and he's very clearly totally in charge.
And that is Martin Brundle in the Zach speed once again, failing to get to the end of a Grand Prix.
As you watch, Stefan Johansson there in 2nd place, Alain Prost, his teammate, unseen by you, is motoring at incredible speed. He is only 60 seconds behind the 6th place man now, having been at one time over 2 laps down. So Prost is driving a magnificent race, which is no more than you would expect. And Piquet is now really forcing Senna.
Yes, he certainly is. He's still trying to find a way around, and it is unfortunately a testimony to this circuit, the fact that they've been nose to tail for a very big proportion of the race that we've had so far, and yet quite a slide there by Piquet. No problem, well enough held.
And while you look at Senna and Piquet, look a little further back behind Moreno in the AGS, and you will see the redoubtable Alain Prost red and white McLaren. And it's going to be more than interesting to see what he can do about Piquet and Senna when, as it seems inevitable to me, he will catch them. This is lap 39, and he will still, of course, be a lap behind them. Don't run away with the idea that he's about to move up to 4th place. There he is in the background. Prost is a lap behind, but catching Senna in 3rd place, Piquet in 4th, with still Johansson 2nd, and of course Berger in the lead on lap 39 in the Japanese Grand Prix. Berger leading in the Ferrari, but Alboreto now in 5th position. Again, Piquet. Is Piquet going through? No, he's trying. But Alboreto's got a problem. He's back at the Ferrari. He's dragging and sparking round the circuit.
Yes, that could well be a puncture, and car just sitting down a little bit too much if one of the rear tyres has picked up a puncture. If it's not that, then it's probably something a lot more serious around the suspension department. So, Prost's problem, of course. Well, Piquet let Prost go through. He saw him coming. He would have known that Prost is only unlapping himself and not here to overtake. So that was quite sporting of Nelson, because it meant that he just lost a little bit of ground in his battle with Senna. But of course, he's shown that he can make that up pretty quickly. But what he can't do is what nobody can do, and that is get past. Now, will Senna also spot that Prost is not involved in racing with him, and thereby let him through?
Here is Alboreto. Now you see what I mean when I said he was striking sparks, but it doesn't seem to be stopping him as Nakajima comes towards us.
And Piquet coming slowly into the pits, and a little puff of smoke then, in fact getting a gathering puff of smoke, so that looks like trouble, yes, and that is serious engine problems. Looks totally terminal. And I'm sure that's the end. Yes, indeed it is. Piquet was just getting his belts undone then and jumped out of the car, so disappointment for Honda. But remember, of course, they still got Senna manfully clinging on to 2nd place. Well, of course, the pressure is now off him with Piquet out, and some fairly glum local faces there by the Honda engine men themselves. And that's not too much of a disappointment for Nelson. He's won the World Championship, and congratulations to him, although big commiserations to Nigel Mansell that he wasn't at least able to have a shot at it.
René Arnoux watching from the side of the course out in the Ligier. He's not been in the running. This is lap 48, and all of a sudden they're disappearing. But Berger is not amongst those who are disappearing. He's going extremely well. 15 seconds now ahead of Stefan Johansson. Senna 3rd, Alboreto up to 4th, and Boutsen, you will notice, has got past Nakajima, who has got Eddie Cheever right behind him. So is Nakajima going to lose his points position to Eddie Cheever? It looks like it, and Cheever's been going extremely well this season, 2 4th places, and at the present moment is 9th equal in the World Championship, having won 3 races in the Jaguar. And he goes through and he takes Satoru Nakajima, and the race order is Berger leading comfortably, Johansson in 2nd place, Senna in 3rd, up to 4th with the retirement of Piquet goes Alboreto. In 5th position now it's Boutsen, who has passed Nakajima, as has Eddie Cheever, who is now 6th.
So Gerhard Berger now starts his last lap, and this time no pressure as there was in Portugal, and at long last it looks as if we are going to have a Ferrari win. There is the picture from Nakajima's car. Nakajima fighting to hang on to a point in 6th place, but the man of the moment is Gerhard Berger, and the first win for Ferrari, if he can get it round these last few corners, since over 2 years ago in the German Grand Prix 1985.
And of course, congratulations to Gerhard Berger, who is coming up now to take a touring and running out of fuel Eddie Cheever. It looks to me as though Eddie Cheever is going to lose that 6th position to Nakajima, because the Arrows is running out of fuel in the closing stages of the last lap. He's been lapped by Berger. Here is the man, and there are Ferrari. It's a wonderful moment for them. They haven't seen this for a very long time. Some of them won't ever have seen it again before, and now they're going to see it. Gerhard Berger wins the Japanese Grand Prix for Ferrari, their first Grand Prix win since Germany 1985. The Ferrari mechanics justifiably go mad with delight. They really deserve it. Berger wins. In 2nd place is Senna. Senna finishes in 2nd place. In the closing stages, he takes Stefan Johansson. What a dramatic finish. Victory, and a very well-deserved victory in the Japanese Grand Prix to Gerhard Berger in his Ferrari. In 2nd place, Ayrton Senna. Just behind him in 3rd position, Stefan Johansson in the McLaren. 4th in the 2nd Ferrari, Michele Alboreto. In 5th place, Thierry Boutsen, and in 6th position, Satoru Nakajima. 7th is Alain Prost. Now, Nelson Piquet, the world champion of 1987, is followed in 2nd place by Nigel Mansell, but in 3rd place, much closer to Mansell, is Ayrton Senna.
Well, after the disappointment of Portugal when you spun in the last few laps, here you look totally dominant. The Ferrari is really improving now.
Yeah, but I have to say I had not so much pressure here than I had in Portugal, and the car improved every race, and we every race find some small things to improve it. So now we are coming close to a winning car, or now we have a winning car.
We've had a few spills. Of course, Spain was a big disappointment for me when I was leading, and would have been in with a chance for points finish when a certain French driver ran in the side of me. But it's been challenging, and I think because the racing has been so close, and because it's been so important to get the car optimised and really not make any mistakes, fine detail stuff has really made the difference this year between winning or losing, and that's really how motor racing should be.
We've often criticised Satoru Nakajima for his Grand Prix driving. That's tough on him with the TV camera on his Lotus, but we're good friends, really. It's not the camera that's the problem, Senna, son. Thank you very much. Now, I have something to say. This is very kind and generous of you, and I appreciate it. But in England, we have a tradition. When you give a gift, you receive a gift back. I have a gift for you. It is a lens cap. Next year, the Williams team lose their turbocharged Honda engines after giving the Japanese concern all their Grand Prix wins except 2. And that's tough and depressing for the superb Didcot team. So the 1988 Williams FW12, being designed by Patrick Head, will be powered by British Judd V8 atmospheric engines, which have already been tested with excellent results by the British March team. A good omen for Williams and Nigel Mansell in 1988. You've often heard me talk about titanium skid plates which strike sparks off the ground, and you've probably wondered exactly what they are. Well, here is an old used one, and here is a new unused one, and you can see that it's a lot thicker. And here is where they fit underneath the gearbox. For next season, FISA are to modify the rules governing ground clearance. For 1988, no suspended part of the car will be allowed to make contact with the ground at any time. For the spectator, that means no more of those great spark shots, and FISA say it will narrow the gap between racing cars and family cars. And if you believe that, you'll believe anything. And in a fortnight's time, it is the last Grand Prix of 1987, the Australian Grand Prix at Adelaide, where hopefully Mansell will be back in the fray for what could be a truly inspiring final World Championship Grand Prix of 1987.